Cheap meat part 3. This is one of Mary Jane's favorite recipes. It's a recipe from Paula Deen. So we're going to take some cheap meat. We have chuck shoulder, and we're going to do pot roast. Now, some of you have said that you don't have a pressure cooker, so we're going to do this the long cook method. Okay, so we're going to brown the meat, put some seasoning on it, brown the meat, add some veg, and then we'll put the toppings on it. And so I will meet you over there when we do the browning. But give me just a sec. What we're going to do is take Paula Deen's, she calls it her house seasoning. It's black pepper, salt, and garlic powder. And we're going to put that all over the outside of the meat, which I'll do right here. It'll be easy to see. And I'm just going to pack that on the outside of the meat like that. Kind of get it on all sides. And then Mary Jane, if you want to follow me over to the cooker. We're going to put like a tablespoon or 2 of oil into a hot pan. Let that get hot. And then brown it on all sides. We're just going for a little bit of a sear. We're just going to brown the meat, get some flavor into it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some cream of mushroom soup, some red wine. This is these beef bouillon granules that are going to give us some nice beef flavor. And then some Worcestershire sauce to give us a really rich texture. This meal tastes so good, but we're going to do our own special thing at the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up. We'll get it all smooth, and we'll finish browning the meat, and I will meet you back here when the meat is brown. All right, so the meat's all brown. I always forget the bay leaves, so I went ahead and put them in the pan already just so I don't forget them. I'm just going to drop that guy in the pan like that. We want to do our onions and garlic in all the fat and the oil. We're just going to brown them a little bit, just kind of soften them. If you need to, you can add a little bit more fat to the pan to get them to cook. And then once those guys are ready to go, we'll put it all together over here. All right, so this is that sauce concoction. We're just going to pour this all over the top, like that. We got our bay leaves in there. Our onions are done. Our onions are done. We'll just sort of distribute them around the pan. And then the recipe calls for putting the water in. I like to deglaze the pan real quick, because that's a bit of flavor there that I want to get back. And I'm just going to pour that in like that. I forgot to mention earlier that we preheated the oven to 350, and that's done. So all we got to do now is cover this with foil, seal it tight, because you don't want the steam to escape. You want to get it nice and tight all the way around, because that's what's going to help it cook. If you need to, put a second layer of foil on it. Just make sure that that's nice and tight, and then we're going to pop that in the oven. It's going to cook for 3 to 3.5 hours, depending on how big your pan is. And then we're going to pull it out, and I'll show you how we plate it after that time. This recipe uses cream of mushroom soup and a couple other things, and you may have noticed that in previous recipes we've never used prepared food, but cream of mushroom soup is the exception. And it makes the best gravy. So what we do is we put down a potato, because the potato soaks up the gravy so perfectly, and it's a great accompaniment to this dish. So check this out. All right, we're done. Woo! that's hot. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's all done. And it is beautiful. Disregard that little bit of foil. And there it is. This is a beautiful piece of meat. The gravy is just crazy good. It's so delicious. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little spoonful here onto each potato with the onions and the garlic and everything, because that's all that good flavor. We'll take out the bay leaves. Don't need those. Just like that. And then we'll get in. We'll get some meat here. So this is super tender, and it's basically just falling apart. So I'm just going to take a chunk like that, and I'll put it right there. And I'll take a chunk like that. Look at that, just falling apart. And I'll put that right there. And then we will top it with a bit more of this gravy. This is fantastic the next day. It's just beautiful. It's so rich and delicious. I can't tell you. It's amazing. So we've been asked for vegetarian recipes. Go figure. And the next one we do is going to be the most amazing vegetarian chili you've ever had. Ruby will be featured much more prominently because the vegetarian chili is her favorite recipe as well. So I love you guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.